The Boyd Broncos turned in the best district performance among the three McKinney ISD schools. Coach Dave Clayton joining us now. And Dave, fourth overall behind the three powerhouses of Allen, Plano, and Plano East. How did this team come together to place that high?
We knew we were pretty solid coming into the season, but we knew that we were in one of the best districts in the state. So it took some leadership from some of the underclassmen actually to step up, and they really did. And it didn't look like it was going to happen early, but we improved a lot from the beginning of the season to the end, and we actually finished higher than we thought we would. So that was a nice thing to happen at the end of the season.
What will you remember the most about this team? I mean, a few months removed now from the season ending at 14-4 overall this season. I
think what I'll take the most from this season is that we have everybody back except for one guy, and a lot of the kids improved so much this year. If they improve the same amount between this year and next, we should have a real good team, a real solid team, and there's no real holes in our lineup from what I can see. Hopefully we get some backups, because there's always those injuries. There's always those, where people go down for one reason or another. And we've always been able to step up and fill those holes. So I think we're going to be fine. Our senior leadership was good, but our underclassmen leadership was even better in that the kids that were, that transferred in were stepped up and showed us that, they wanted to be captains. So I made them captains, and they took the team by the reins, and they just ran with it.
You talk about underclassmen leadership. How about Jared McCormick as a sophomore at 120 pounds? Plano's Avery Coker beat him for the district title, but Jared still advanced to regionals. What did you like about Jared's year here as a 10th grader?
Well, you have to look and see that Jared didn't wrestle as a freshman. He was a wrestler, but he wasn't able to wrestle on the varsity because he was a transfer from the north area zone. So his mom being a teacher, he was able to come over, and so he was ineligible for a year. He walked right in the door and ran off 10 wins with no losses, and then he lost one and then ran off another 10. So he was looking really good going into late season. He got an injury and missed probably 15 matches, and it may have hurt him a little bit. He also pinned most of his guys, and late in the season, that's when you wrestle that better competition. And without him having those I just lost my train of thought.
Those pinfall victories.
Yeah, he would have probably had more experience late in the match, wrestling all the way through to the third period, but he pinned everybody, so he didn't really know what it was like to be that deep into a match. And I think it hurt him in the long run against the district opponents.
How does Jared then move forward and add more to his repertoire? He has 2 years left, a lot to improve after a standout year.
Yeah, I think he's got to get some more competition. He's got to wrestle in the off season. I think we need to ramp up the schedule a little bit to get him some better competition. And hopefully our room is getting tougher, and we can talk about that, but our room is definitely getting tougher every day, and that helps him, able to not only more experience, but more having more endurance late in the match.
You say you're adding more talent to the room, perhaps. The room is tough because you're getting transfers like a Victor Aguirre, who came in from California and immediately made an impression. He led your team in wins this season. What do you like about Victor?
Victor is a born leader. He's not a real loud guy, but he just is a natural leader. He only wrestled for 1 year, 2 freestyle seasons, and one high school season. He wrestled varsity as a sophomore in California. California is a great wrestling state, and we didn't know what to expect, though, because he could have come from a program that just wasn't really strong. Well, it turns out that not only was he from a tough program and was able to make our lineup, but he learns so quickly. He picks things up, and he treats it like a subject. He studies, what he did wrong, and he doesn't make those mistakes again. And that's the kind of person you want as a leader, because he shows not only by example, but he can tell the other kids, look, don't do that anymore. You did that, don't do that anymore. And sometimes it takes a kid a long time to make that change. With Victor, he just does it automatically, and he won't make the same mistake twice.
It takes a special individual to come right in and earn that kind of respect. He was named a captain here in his first year as a junior. That's something you don't see all that often.
We had idea that we had a couple guys, one a senior, one a junior, that showed a lot of promise as captains. But when Victor walked up to me after a couple of weeks into the season and said, "Coach, what do I have to do to be a captain?" And I said, "Just do what you've been doing. I'm loving what you're doing, and you're helping the team with everything that you do. So go ahead and just be who you are." And I quickly put him on the captains.
You will have just about all your starters back, except for at 285 pounds, but you hope that Kyle Seamus can grow into that spot. He's 220 pounds at the moment. He can grow on the mat and both physically. Kyle seems like he's a special talent at the heavyweight.
Well, Kyle's only a freshman right now. Next year he'll be a sophomore. He's playing football. They're looking at him as a nose guard. He only weighed 210 this year, but he won some real critical matches for us and showed that he was willing to just knock heads with anybody, including the big boys. So we bumped him to heavyweight a few times when our heavyweight was out, and he performed phenomenally. He thinks that he's going to be about 250 next year. I'm hoping that he doesn't get so big that he can't play football, but he is, which sounds like an oxymoron, but if you get too big,
you want to retain that quickness.
Right. You want to keep the quickness on the field and on the mat. You can't actually get too big where you're not as athletic. So we want him to grow into it, but if he has to wrestle heavyweight at 225, he'll do very well, I think.
Go at the other end of the spectrum. How about Alex Miner? He transfers in from McKinney Christian. He won a TAPS state championship at 106 pounds. What can Alex bring to your team?
Alex is an incredibly hard worker. He's improved over the last year from a pretty good wrestler to an elite wrestler. And if we can instill some of that work ethic and that dedication to the sport to our other guys, especially in the lower weights, we have some inexperience. But he makes it a tougher room for Jarrett. Jarrett is a great partner for him. We're glad to have Alex here, and I think, like I said, he's going to shore up those lighter weights. And I think down the road he may be a captain as well because he shows that kind of being a student of the game.
We just talked with McKinney's Bruce Blackman about the UIL reorganizing divisions in wrestling. Finally, there is a Class 5A, a Class 4A, not just one big conference. And you're pretty sure you're going to be in Class 5A. It will be a very familiar district with juggernauts like Allen, the 3 Plano schools, perhaps McKinney High as well. With so many starters returning, the injection of more talent like an Alex Miner, how do you translate that into success in probably the toughest district in the state?
Well, we've been wrestling with those guys all along, so we're not afraid of anybody. I think we can hang with anybody. Maybe not Allen. Allen is up there, and we have to raise ourselves up to their level, which is going to be, that's our work is cut out for us there. But we can certainly wrestle with all the Plano schools and anybody else in our district. With the additions of a few guys that are still underclassmen that are coming up, I think, the future is really bright. In terms of 5A, 4A, we've been working to get this 5A and 4A split for a while, and it finally is here. You'd think, well, you're still 5A, so you still have to go against the best. Well, there's a lot of good teams in 4A that, and the cool thing is we don't have to beat everybody. We just have to beat the 5A people. So a lot of your individual good wrestlers that take spots up at states are 4A and 3A and small school teams. So we don't have to beat everybody, and that's the thing we take away from it.
You have several wrestlers in clubs for freestyle and Greco-Roman season. What do they need to focus on this off season?
Well, we're all lifting real hard and trying to get stronger. Freestyle and Greco is just another chance for them to get on the mat and get mat time. It's not exactly the same rules, but it's close enough to folk style wrestling and high school wrestling that we're able to make that all count towards experience on the mat. And with 8 or 9 guys going to freestyle every weekend, it's almost like having a whole nother season. In fact, it is. You may get more matches in that 8-week Freestyle Greco season than you would in a regular high school season. So also, you got to understand the guys that are on the mat for Greco and freestyle are your best guys. And they don't usually go there unless they are one of the best because they think they have a chance to be even better and elite. So going there is, you're going to get the best guys, and when you go to the regular season, you're like, I know these guys. I wrestled that guy in freestyle season. Oh, I wrestled that guy in Greco. Whether you beat him or not is immaterial. You get the experience of being up against them, and then the confidence is there when you hit the regular season.
Dave, we appreciate the time as always. Best of luck moving forward.
You bet. Thank you very much.
Dave Clayton, head coach of the Boyd Broncos, just finishing up his 5th year as coach. The Broncos not shying away from the challenge that awaits them next year, of course, for the biggest schools in the state. They've seen them before, and they will see them again.